Hello, my name is Anton Immler, and I'm going to take you down the Murchison Falls section of the White Nile. And I'm going to start with saying I'm not nearly even going to cover all of the rapids and channels in here because there are thousands of them. And if I did, this video would be about 3 hours long. So I'm just going to try to give you a general idea of what it's like and what's in there. But if you have any interest in doing the run, you're going to want to find someone that has done it many times before and knows all the lines and all the rapids very well. You're going to want to find someone that knows how to deal with the wildlife because it's probably the most hippo and crocodile infested area in the entire world. If you can bring a rafts with you for raft support, that's recommended. You can do it with kayaks only. It'll save you a little bit of time, but go with the rafts. You'll be a lot more chilled out, especially on the flat water. But generally, the moral of this whole river is the safest place you're going to be is in the rapids. You're going to want to stay away from the flat water and the eddies. Because even an eddy that looks harmless like this one, we're looking for a camp, there are a lot of things hiding under there that will surprise you, like this guy over here. So, yep, stay away from the eddies. But anyways, getting back to the rapids, so about 400 or 500 meters after the put-in, you'll get to an island that will split the river in two channels. You want to take the right one, the left one's not runnable. But in the right channel, you get to this rapid right here. There's a lot of water, it's really powerful. And this rapid has got to me every single time I run it. These whirlpools on the side, they'll just completely submerge you, even in a creek boat. So make sure you have a good spray skirt on, hold on tight to your paddle, roll up as quickly as you can, and you should be alright. Okay, right below that, the two channels merge back together again, and you get to the bird's nest. There's a hippo right there, the small idiot that we just barely avoided. But the general story of this rapid is that there's about 8 channels in it, and the 3 or 4 ones in the middle are really big, and the ones all the way to the right and all the way to the left are a little more manageable. Alright, and coming out of the bird's nest, there's another two smaller rapids before you get to the slingshot rapid. And this is basically a big S-bend. You start off pretty far to the right side, and it's going to sling shoot you around this little rock island. There's some big boils and whirlpools in here that will give you a hard time if you end up in them. So try to stay in the main flow, try to stay in the water that's going downstream, and you'll still hit some big waves. And towards the bottom here, it gets really turbulent, big whirlpools on the side, so try to stay in the middle. We've had a couple of rafts flip over in here before just by the boils. And about a kilometer downstream from there, you get to the leap of faith. Okay, you're going to want to make sure where you go in here because it's a pretty blind horizon line. There's some huge holes, but there is a gap in the middle that will let you through if you know where it is. And that is the last big rapid of the upper section before you get down to Chobe Lodge. And this can be an exit point for you if you need it. But for here on, you're going to get to pretty flat water for about 4 or 5 hours, only class 1 and 2 rapids. So you're going to be happy to have some rafts with you because it will take away a lot of the crocodile factor. The next big rapid you get to is called Hippo Walk, and it's basically two really big holes. You can scout this one from the right side. It's a small wave on the lip that you can use as a landmark because there's only one small tongue in the middle to get through. That's the main line. If you want to have an easier line, there is an easier one, either all the way right or all the way left. Below that, there's some pretty calm class 1 and 2 rapids for another hour and a half, 2 hours or so before you get to round 2. And this is the start of the best part of the river, I think, where it's just mile long, class 3 or 4 wave trains, super fun. You can boat scout pretty much everything. So it just keeps going, and you'll have plenty of fun with these waves. There are a couple of holes every once in a while that will sneak up on you, or crashing waves that will throw you upside down, but in general there's not too much to look out for. And as you can see, there are some huge waves in here, big rapids, but everything is good to go. It's all runnable. The next big rapid you get to is called the Puzzle. It's got a couple of lines in it. You can see the left line in here, which is the harder one. You can scout that from this island in the middle or from the bank on the left side. Or if you want an easier way, you can run it down the middle. You can scout that from the island in the middle as well. And it's a pretty long rapid. It's about a kilometer long, and it's got a lot of moves to it. But coming from the top here, it's basically a ledge hole that you're going to want to avoid. But you can see all of that when you're scouting. And coming towards the end of the rapid, you want to ferry all the way to the right, and it'll let you through. A lot of the lines in the middle have huge holes in it you're going to want to avoid. Next big rapid is called Tarzan's Garden, and you can run this as a chicken chute all the way left, but it's a small channel. It always has hippos in it, so you might want to avoid that one. There is another line you can run all the way to the right. I don't have any footage of it, but there's a couple of big holes, but most of it will let you through, so check it out. Okay, after that, you're gonna get up on Go Right, which is a big portage. So listen to the name, you're gonna wanna stay to the right-hand side of the river through all of this. It's a couple of kilometers long, still some fun rapids. You're gonna get down to this point, you'll see some water getting sucked into the jungle. That's a good landmark for you, because right below that, you'll see this big boulder, and then you'll see this eddy on the right side, and that is gonna be your takeout eddy on an island that you're gonna portage through to get to the other side. And when you get to the other side, you're gonna get to this little pool right here, and you can run this little creek chute all the way out. Just make sure you watch out for trees. And if you're wondering what you're portaging around, this is it right here. Go Right. There's about 4 channels all in all that are absolutely massive, huge rapids, but they've never been scouted properly, only really what you can see from here. So if you're willing to spend a good day out there scouting it, you might be able to find a runnable line, but it's going to be a big one, that's for sure. Right downstream from Go Right, you get to Supernova. This is one of the biggest rapids I've ever seen. It is all runnable. You can run a chicken chute down the left side the whole way. Still pretty full on. There is a main line as well, but no one's ever run it before, and if someone runs it, then that will be a pretty big move. But anyway, so you hug the left side, there's a little booth into this eddy. Then it's the second part where it's kind of like a double booth, where you can scout all this from the left side before you get to it. Okay, and coming up here, you're going to get to the last move. It kind of pushes into one channel, everything here. It's really pushy, some big boils and whirlpools, so you're going to want to be careful, or those boils will push you into the supernova hole. I've ended up in there before, and it's not fun. You can see the supernova hole right here, and as you can see, that will give you a hell of a ride. So you get to the left of that rock you can see in the middle there, and it's a little snake chute around, and you get to a pretty big flat pool before you get to Legavand. Okay, this one is a huge rapid. There's a chicken chute on the left side. That's not really a chicken chute, it's still a pretty full-on rapid. It's never been run in the middle before, but if you're willing to spend the time and figure it out, you're welcome to do so. I've scouted it many times before, and I've never found a good line in there, but I'm sure it's in there if you look hard enough. And after that, you get to Vidiot. Okay, this is another huge rapid. There is a really easy chicken chute all the way down the left side if you want it. It's a good option for the rafts you have with you as well. If you choose to run the line in the middle, it's good to go. Just make sure you scout it properly, because there's some huge holes, and the rapid's about 1 kilometer long all in all. So if you get stuck in one of those holes and swim, you're going to have a very long and very unpleasant swim ahead of you. Okay, and a couple of kilometers downstream from Vidiot, you get to the Matrix Wave. Okay, this feature is huge. You can see there's a runnable line just to the left of the big foam pile. It will kind of send you into the eddy. It's better to go at higher water, but if you want to have an easy way around it, you can choose to do the right channel around the Matrix Wave. This is only like class 3, so it's an easy option if you don't feel like running a huge rapid towards the end of the run. So after here, you're going to get to the zoo, which is a couple of kilometers of flat water, lots of animals in there, so watch out. You get to the S-bend, which is basically 4 big rapids pretty close together. So you're going to want to be careful in here, because if something goes wrong in the first one, it's quite a big risk that it's going to push you straight into the next one offline, and you're getting pretty close to the falls and the takeout at this point, so you don't want to mess up at any point. But the first rapid, you start off on the right side, and then you make yourself all the way to the left. You get to the big diagonal hole. Okay, this one you can get around easy all the way on the left side on the rocks here. If you get stuck in this thing, it's going to push you all the way to the right side, and that's not really where you want to be. You want to stay on the left the whole way down. So you can see the diagonal in the background right there. So from here, you're going to work yourself kind of left of center. There's a couple of big waves, and right after the waves, you want to work yourself towards the left side and into the eddy again. So if you end up on the right side here, it's pretty much game over. You will get out, but you're going to have to abort your trip, because you're not going to be able to make it back left from there. But as you can see, these waves are really powerful, and swimming from here probably will kill you. You're going to end up swimming over Murchison Falls, which is not really ideal. So yeah, work yourself left here. There are some big whirlpools, and when you get to the left bank, you get up on Lane's hole. Okay, and here you're gonna want to stay as close to the left bank as you possibly can because there's a huge feature going all the way across the entire river. If you get stuck in there, you will swim. If you swim in there, you're in a really dangerous situation because the next couple of rapids and Murchison Falls is just around the corner from here. So you can see the hole, Lane's hole, to the right, just there. Below that, you get to the last rapid. It's about a 5 meter drop. You just kind of run all the way left. You can scout it from the left side as well if you want to. And that kind of puts you out on this little chute. It gets pretty shallow. So hippos quite often walk straight across the current here, so make sure you don't piton a hippo. But from there, you stay left all the way down until you get to this eddy. It's a takeout eddy. You'll see a couple of huts up on the top. That's a campsite. And whether there's a hippo in here or not, you will have to get up. And if you hike along the bank on the left side a little bit down, you're going to get to this view right here, get a good view of Murchison Falls, and congratulations, you've done one of the most amazing rivers in the world. And hope you enjoyed it, and don't get eaten by a crocodile.